The Democratic National Committee protested President Trump's plans to accept a $400 million luxury jet from Qatar by flying a banner over Mar-a-Lago reading Qatar-a-Lago. It's the kind of hilarious stunt that makes you realize why the Democrats will
be very clear. The government of Qatar, the Qatari family, has offered to donate this plane to the United States Air Force, where that donation will be accepted according to all legal and ethical obligations. It will be retrofitted to the highest of standards by the Department of Defense and the United States.
You can always tell a roast is hitting way too hard when the whole studio freezes. People gasp, the host literally wants to vanish, and even the cameraman looks like he forgot how blinking works. That's exactly what went down when Colin Jost dropped that line about Trump and Karoline Leavitt. It wasn't just a joke, it was a direct hit, and instantly everyone started wondering, did he go too far? Did he actually say what everyone else was secretly thinking? And who took the blow the hardest? By the time this is over, you'll definitely want to replay the entire thing.
A pharmaceutical executive collapsed in the Oval Office on Thursday. And speaking of pharmaceuticals, whatever they've got Trump on, I want some. Because just look how chill he is during all of this. He's just standing.
A detailed readout of that physical, and I would encourage you back for that. Presidents and I don't know the exact imaging that took place, but as the physician's note said, the president is in incredibly good shape, and I think that's evidence.
Then it happened. The joke. So casually tossed out, so smooth, like he could have delivered it while sipping tea. The whole room froze for half a second, the same way people freeze when they realize they hit reply all. And then the laughter erupted, loud, rolling, uncontrollable. The kind of laughter where people scream, "No way he just said that," while grabbing their stomachs.
Democrats released an email written by Jeffrey Epstein in which he claims that Donald Trump, quote, knew about the girls. It's bombshell news that legal experts are calling duh. This week's Epstein documents are obviously very dark and disturbing, but I also think it's kind of adorable that Epstein's email address was jeevacation@gmail. It's like if Jeffrey Dahmer's was dinnertime Jeff.
And of course, the main target was Trump. A man who's survived scandals, rants, lawsuits, and spray tan catastrophes future historians will probably teach in electives. A man whose confidence level breaks records every minute. A man who can walk into a room and make the oxygen anxious. But on this night, the indestructible took a real hit. And Colin swung that roast hammer like Thor doing his taxes.
Well, this week the government finally represented the people when it just completely shut down. Honestly, didn't it feel like the government kind of needed a break? Just so we could all catch our breath? Can you believe we're only 9 months into this presidency? That means we still have 3 months and 7 years remaining.
Every time Trump's name came up, the whole audience tightened up. Everyone knew the next line was going to land like your phone auto-correcting hi to "I hate you." Cameras caught everything. Teeth, shock, disbelief. Even the studio lights looked embarrassed. Colin wasn't even angry. It didn't feel like a performance. It felt like a glitter-covered intervention.
I have to say, in general, I don't really believe in conspiracies because as a member of the Illuminati, I know that we, the lizard people, control everything. And it's really hard to believe that Trump was so oblivious that he didn't notice his good friend was running an international pedophile ring. Though I guess Trump is the one guy on earth who thinks YMCA is a straight.
And just when you thought it couldn't get harsher, here comes Karoline Leavitt. She wandered into the blast zone with the same confidence as someone pushing a door that says pull. Colin locked onto her with surgical precision, like a doctor who decided anesthesia wasn't necessary for dramatic effect. No warm-up, no easing in, just impact.
Want to talk about the president's response, but not what brought the president to responding in this way. You have sitting members of the United States Congress who conspired together to orchestrate a video message to members of the United States military, to active duty service members, to members of the national security apparatus, encouraging them to defy the president's lawful.
President Trump also spoke to a group of military leaders this week, and at one point, he went on a long rant about how good Barack Obama was at walking downstairs. Here's what he said. I'm not going to read it because it's a crazy thing to hear from a president, but it's actually kind of fun from anyone else. Let me show you what I mean in our new segment. President Trump would make a lot more sense if he sounded like Jennifer Coolidge.
Karoline's face instantly turned into a human buffering icon. You could practically hear the Windows error sound behind her eyes. She tried to smile, but that smile was shaking like 2005 dial-up internet. The camera tried not to be rude, but it couldn't look away, just like watching a Jenga tower right before it collapses. Colin bounced between Trump and Karoline like he was feeding ducks made of pure chaos. And every line hit harder than the last. Trump has been roasted before, by comedians, reporters, hecklers, relatives, strangers in grocery stores, even GPS systems probably. But this one hit differently. It wasn't loud or wild. It was polite, calm, and absolutely devastating.
America elected Donald Trump to run the country like a business, but it turns out he's running it like one of his businesses. I love that you can intentionally ruin the economy and still get to stay president. It's like if you drunk drove your car through the window of the DMV and they were like, license renewed. It's insane. This was the worst week for the stock market since the summer of 2020. But you have to remember, back then, the president...
The audience wasn't just laughing, they were malfunctioning. People were clapping weirdly, wheezing, folding forward, snapping back, stomping, and losing control of their lungs. It looked like a yoga class taught by someone who's never seen yoga in their life. Even the band was thrown off. You know a roast is historic when a trombone can't get its act together. Meanwhile, Karoline tried to keep that TV-ready smile. You know, the smile people give when they accidentally leave their mic on while trash-talking the entire room? But the crazy part? Colin didn't even pause to enjoy the reaction. He didn't celebrate, didn't smirk, didn't soak it in. He just moved on like someone casually deleting photos to clear storage. The roast was technically finished, but every person in the room was still replaying the punchlines in their heads. Laughter spread across the audience in waves, like a meme going viral in real life.
Experts are also warning that Trump may owe political favors to countries who give him lavish gifts. But based on the way he left the Middle East, I think I know how Trump is going to pay them back.
President Trump has signed an executive order giving refugee status to white people from South Africa. I could have sworn that white people had it good in South Africa. Must be
Trump's team probably started drafting statements before the show even ended. Somewhere, advisors were opening group chats titled Damage Control, More Damage Control, and Why Does This Keep Happening? Karoline's PR emails were probably forming themselves like storm clouds. We need clarification. We need clarification of the clarification. We need a distraction about literally anything. Trump lives off control, of attention, of narrative, of microphone distance. But in this moment, he had none. He wasn't the loud voice dominating a room. He was the punchline of a calm, casual joke that landed like a piano dropped from a helicopter. Karoline, who normally projects total confidence, had her armor crack for a split second, not from shouting or debate, but from laughter that the whole world was suddenly in on.
Just in the past 2 days, investors have lost over $6 trillion. Money is leaving the stock market faster than Morgan. President Trump even imposed tariffs on remote islands that are only inhabited by penguins. Well, then maybe penguins shouldn't keep pushing their game.
And that's what made this moment genuinely historic. Not politically, but comedically. It showed how pure humor can shrink the biggest personalities into little cartoon versions of themselves. The larger-than-life suddenly looked small. The intimidating looked confused. The camera caught all of it. The internet preserved it, and memes turned it into a shrine. Even people who couldn't care less about politics joined in, because watching powerful people get clowned has been human entertainment since forever. Romans had coliseums, we have weekend comedy shows. Karoline pretended nothing bothered her afterward, but the replay numbers told a different story.
Tuesday, Zohran Mamdani was elected mayor of New York City. he was elected. A lot of Sliwa fans. He was elected mayor despite his opponent Andrew Cuomo receiving endorsements from Donald Trump and Eric Adams, which is like trying to bring a girl home by saying, not to brag, but I have hepatitis B.
The memes made it even clearer. The comment sections were wild. And when the internet smells weakness, it doesn't back away. It settles in, orders snacks, and builds a condo. Trump did his classic move, acting like nothing happened while making sure everyone knew it absolutely did. It's almost beautiful. No speeches, no debates, no policy arguments, just jokes. Simple, sharp jokes that cut faster than headlines. Colin didn't shout, didn't rant, didn't explain. He just dropped a line too undeniable to argue against. Humor is a velvet trap. The harder you try to escape, the worse it gets.
President Trump traveled to the Middle East this week, and if I were him, I would have just stayed there because it looked awesome. Trump arrived in Saudi Arabia where he was greeted with a lavender carpet which matched the color of his tie and also the length. They also rolled out a mobile McDonald's truck for President Trump's visit, featuring Saudi Arabia's most popular new burger, the
What made this roast legendary was how evenly it knocked down both Trump and Karoline. Trump, this political asteroid, left staring in disbelief, and Karoline, confident, polished, unshakable, suddenly looking like her software crashed mid-update. It's one thing to make one political powerhouse stumble. It's genius to take two down quietly, with no raised voice. And after the show, the online battlefield exploded. HD clips, subtitled edits, animations, TikTok musicals. The internet didn't just react, they remixed the moment into a cultural avalanche. Because sometimes the strongest hit in politics isn't scandal or strategy, it's laughter. Laughter that humbles giants and makes regular people feel powerful. Even if the broadcast disappeared tomorrow, the internet already turned it into a permanent artifact.
A prominent white nationalist has begun posting manifestos online. Oh, I'm sorry, that was the subheadline. The headline was, Donald Trump launches new blog. That's right, disgraced former fast food spokesman Donald Trump has launched a website called From the Desk of Donald J. Trump, though a more accurate name would be From the Brain Fog of Long Haul Coke.
The legacy of this roast isn't political. It isn't controversial. It's the pure satisfaction of watching someone swing a comedy hammer with perfect accuracy. No fancy intro or outro, just the echo of laughter circling the globe. Trump moved on to louder stages, acting like nothing touched him. Karoline kept pushing confidence like everything was fine. But the internet didn't care. They kept replaying her expression on a loop like a GIF with unlimited energy. The audience took control. The clip went autopilot, and the meme factory worked overtime. Two political titans became unwilling sitcom characters, and the moment refuses to fade. It hovers, it glows, it stays. A reminder that in politics, sometimes the knockout punch doesn't come from power, it comes from comedy.